American news sources reported an alleged bomb threat to War Memorial Hospital in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan yesterday afternoon. According to sources, the hospital was one of 4 Michigan hospitals that received an email indicating a bomb threat. War Memorial received theirs around 1:30. Sault, Michigan police surrounded the hospital and a K-9 unit was brought in. No evacuations were ordered, but only staff and patient families were allowed in until about 4 o'clock when the all clear was given. A string of similar emails were reportedly sent to various hospitals all over the States as well as Canada, including Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and Winnipeg. The hospital is now open to the public, but there could be an increased police presence as the investigation continues. Months after saying it would not cap the number of licenses for retail pot shops after cannabis was legalized, the Ontario government has reversed course, saying it will now only be able to issue 25 licenses by April. In a statement last evening, the province says it plans to take a phased approach to authorizing retail cannabis outlets because of severe supply shortages across the country. Only a limited number of licenses will be handed out for the launch of private retailers on April 1st, with the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario implementing a lottery system to determine who is eligible. The government says the results will be announced in January. When the Progressive Conservative government introduced legislation to create a regulatory regime for cannabis sales back in August, it said it expected a flood of applications from those looking to run private stores. At the time, the Tories said there could be as many as 1,000 retail pot shops in the province after cannabis was legalized. There were to be no caps on the number of stores when the retail model launched, but the government's legislation allowed for flexibility when it came to the concentration of stores in individual markets. Yesterday, the province blamed the federal government for the cannabis shortage, saying the Liberals must address the issue. The Progressive Conservative plan for pot was a stark change from the previous Ontario Liberal government's rules. The Liberals had planned to open 40 government-run retail cannabis shops by the summer of 2018, with the network of stores to expand to 150 by 2020. It's full steam ahead for Team Brad Jacobs, who sits at 3-0 start at the latest Grand Slam of curling event, the National. Jacobs, along with third E.J. Harnden, second Matt Wozniak, and lead Ryan Harnden, beat Reid Carruthers from Winnipeg last night 8-1 at the 6-day tournament in Newfoundland. Jacobs now is guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. After the detention of 2 Canadian men in China over national security allegations, Conservative leader Andrew Scheer is criticizing what he calls Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's naive approach to the country.
And I believe that this situation demonstrates that Justin Trudeau's naive approach to relations with China isn't working. We look at the decisions that he has made to appease the Chinese government in the past, waiving national security reviews of important takeovers of Canadian companies that have sensitive technology, his refusal to clearly and unequivocally state whether or not Huawei will be able to participate in the 5G spectrum option, something Conservatives oppose. These are all examples where his naive approach to China has now, we now find ourselves in a situation where we have Canadian citizens on foreign soil detained in a government that has pursued a policy of appeasement, putting us in a position where we don't have the leverage that we might otherwise.
French authorities said the man authorities believe killed 3 people during a rampage near a Christmas market in Strasbourg died yesterday in a shootout with police at the end of a 2-day manhunt. The Paris prosecutor's office, which handles terror cases in France, formally identified the man killed in the eastern French city as 29-year-old Cherif Chakat, a Strasbourg-born man with a long history of convictions for various crimes, including robberies. Chakat also had been on a watch list of potential extremists. Police say they spotted a man matching the suspect's description, and the moment they tried to arrest him, he turned around and opened fire. They replied, killing the man. Chicat was suspected of killing 3 people and wounding 13 near Strasbourg's Christmas market on Tuesday night. Yesterday, French police said that 3 of the injured had been released from hospital and 3 others were still fighting for their lives.